Hello guys, this is Christian or CU speaking. Here are the switches we're going to mount on the bracket we just prepared last time we spoke. Okay, so these are very special switches in a way, simply because in this body, and I have another model here, they are not exactly the same manufacturer, but the functioning is identical. Actually, in the same body, you have two switches. If you put it on one position, you have a toggle switch with respect to the neutral, which is here. And if you press it the other way, it's a momentary switch, like a push button, you see? Okay? So how can we check? Supposing this is the position for the toggle switch, the contacts are going to be made on diagonal. I mounted one here into the vise, and we're going to check it, okay? So, as you can see, the meter is put on ohms, and right now we're going to check the common being in the middle. We're going to check, and there is overload or infinite value because the switch is open right now. If I put that switch on the toggle, but my position is here, I still can see overload because the contact is made on the other side, meaning right here. So right now you're going to measure 0 ohms because the contact is made. If I push it back, it goes overload. If I push the button now on the momentary, here nothing happens because that's only the part of the switch for toggle. But if I put it here and I push the switch, take a look. It goes 0 ohms, overload. 0 ohms, overload. See? So that's the functioning of the switch. There are two switches inside the body. Okay? So this being said, I'm going to put the meter aside. We don't need a vise anymore. I'm going to put this one aside as well. And now the purpose is to mount the switches on the bracket. The switches, they usually come like this with two nuts and two washers. One flat and a safety washer. So we're going to remove everything from them. And we're going to remove everything from them. And we're going to notice that the flat ones, they actually have here a notch. This may be useful if this one, the bracket was machined. But because we did this manually, the notch is going to just cause us trouble. So for that reason, we're going to make it flat. It's very easy. It won't take long. So we check quickly our flat washers to really be flat. So I'm going to check them all. It won't take long. It's just a move you do with a little plier, and they just become flat. Very easy. One more. So they became flat. The sequence of operations now. Before we do anything, because these switches can take one position or the other and we want them to be aligned in the same position, we first check and we put them all on the toggle. So just put them on the toggle all. That's how we prepare. So the switches are going to all be and remain in the same position. Like this. So then, because the bracket is symmetrical, it doesn't matter what side we start with. First, we put a flat on the switch, and we put the switch in. The switch is going to be in that position, and then we put a safety washer, and then the first nut, this nut, if you use an American wrench, is 5/16, or if you use in the metric system is about 8 millimeter. You can use either of them, both of them are good. Okay, you don't have to have it very tight. So it has to be aligned. Then you're going to put the second washer, the second nut, sorry, because both of them come with 2 nuts just to secure the switch to stay in place. So by doing this, all the switches are going to be staying in position like that. Okay? So when I'm going to put the next switch into position, it's going to be similar to this one. So I leave it all the time on the toggle. I pick up another one, and then this one I forgot to make it flat. We're gonna make it now. It has to be flat. So we're going to find the alignment for the notch. We're gonna place it here. You see, has to be in the same position as the other one. And then we put another safety washer, and then we pick up the first nut, we put it here, maybe not good. Okay, we align it exactly like for the other one. We pick up a second nut and we put it here. So now we have 2 switches already done. All the time we check the alignment. That's it. Now we put another one. All of them have to be in the same position. In the moment we have them ready, we put them here. Safety nut, safety washer, and then a first nut. Takes a bit of patience. So that's going to be the third one. Second nut. And now we align it according to the other 2 ones. That's it. Very well. So all the 3 are on the position of toggle. We pick up the 4th one. We place it right here, exactly like the other 2. The reason we put the nuts, both of them in the top, is because we want to minimize the space the switch is taking underneath, to have enough room for soldering. Now we put the safety washer, and then the first nut. Some of them they screw a bit faster, some others don't, but we have to place them all. We align. Yes, it's on the toggle. Now the second nut to secure the switch. We align again. Next is on a toggle. Move it flat. We align the notch right here. We put it underneath. Should be in the same position like the others. We pick up the safety washer. We put it in the top. We put a first nut. We do as much as we have with our fingers, but then the wrench is going to finish the job. We don't forget to align it. All of them are on the toggle. The second nut. We already did more than half of the job. Next one is going to make a flat. All in the same position. We put a safety washer and then a force nut. We align with the second washer. All switches are in the position toggle. Done. Next one. We align the notch. We place the switch right here. Safety washer. First nut. All the switches in the same position. We align it. Hey, one more to do. We pick up the flat. We align the notch, and all of them align in the same position. In the same position meaning with the toggle, safety washer, first nut, we use the wrench, we align it with the others like this. Second washer, second nut, all of them are same position on the toggle. We're almost done. Here we are. So we have 8 switches all aligned on the toggle. We don't need to put the other brackets right now. Everything is just fine. Now the next step is we have to think a bit about the wiring we're going to connect, because the purpose is to get something like this. Okay? So if we get something like this, we're going to need a piece of wire. Actually, it's not a piece of wire, it's a cable. And if you take a look a bit of this communication cable, the colors are very neat, and it has 3, 6, 8, 10 wires with 10 different colors. But because I don't want you to spend money to buy such a cable, let's use something most of us will have available at home, an older network cable, the one connecting our computer to Ethernet, something provided with the 2 RJ45 connectors. As you can find, because I already cut a couple of cables here for you. They are not exactly the same. One is gray, the other one blue. However, inside you find 8 wires, 4 pairs, and as you can see, one of them has a kind of orange and white orange. This one, even if the nuance is not the same, you can say also is a kind of orange and white orange. Then it has a blue and a white blue. Similarly here, blue and white blue. You have green and white green, exactly as here is a green and white green. And finally, it's a kind of brown and white brown, brown and white brown. I put all these here on the list. Now, the problem we have is such a cable contains 8 wires inside, but we need 9 because we need 8 wires, 1 per switch, and we need a 9th wire, which is going to be the common for the 8 switches. For that reason, what we're going to do, we're going to practically cut 2 wires, 2 cables. So I'm going to pick up a brand new one. It's not brand new. This is a used cable, I used it before. So now I'm just going to pick up a cutter. I'm gonna cut it. So about this length is gonna be okay. If you just measure it, it should be somewhere around 2 feet long or about 60 centimeters long. And you're going to cut 1 and then a second one. Usually such a cable is 2 meters long, so you're going to have enough room to cut 2 like those. Okay, so by cutting 2 like those, I'm going to use 8 wires from here, and I'm going to pick up 1 wire from here to put it together with the other 8. So this way we're gonna have 9 wires because we need 9. So be careful about your fingers. I'm gonna use a little cutter, and I'm going to cut here the insulation like this. Again, be very careful about your fingers. Don't cut it too deep, because chances are if you do this and you cut them too deep, you're going to cut the wires coming inside. Okay? It just has to be enough to cut the blue insulation. You just follow the cable. So I'm doing all this because I just need to extract the 9th wire, and I'm going to tell you exactly which of them I'm going to use, just to finish cutting it. It's not going to take long. We're almost done. So right now we're going to find out the wire. This is what I need. So from the second cable I cut, we're going to need to take out the orange wire. Okay? So now, this orange wire plus, I'm going to show you now, be careful when you start cutting because your fingers are the most important. Okay. So we're just going to show what colors are hidden for each of the wires inside. Exactly as it was before. Orange, white, orange. Green, white, green. Brown, white, brown. Blue, white, blue. So together with this 8 wire, these 8 wires, is going to come the 9th one. So all along, we're going to finally have our 9 wires to use. Okay? So please prepare a bigger coffee for tomorrow, because next video is going to be the funniest one for now, is soldering. So far so good. Thank you guys for the patience. See you soon.